Good morning. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. And we're having coffee, my beautiful mug from Guatemala. And I have my treat coffee in it this morning. I don't give myself this every day, but sometimes I need to do a little caretaking. And that means giving myself something that I enjoy that I don't indulge in all the time. This has got heavy cream in it. It is a delight for me. And so that is one thing I do to nurture myself. This year is a huge year for us. The cosmic alignments, the planetary alignments, the things that are shifting, those big outer planets, several of them are shifting into Aries. And Aries is all about taking action and moving forward. And the energy this year is incredibly fast as well. So, what does that look like for us? It looks like shifting sands. It looks like those ideas, possibilities, the things you thought maybe you'd like to try. This is the year to get them done. Because another aspect of the planets is Saturn in Aries. And Saturn can be, as one of my lovely friends describes it, the grumpy grandpa, the one who prods you into making changes because things get too uncomfortable the way you are. And so they make it so that you have to move forward. Or you can take all the choice points that are available to you this year and choose to be making those kinds of changes. I am offering in February a 3-session class called When Suicide Presents as an Option. This has been something that I've been prompted over and over this last year to offer. And I've kind of dug my heels in the sand and gone, no, 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 that's a lot. That's a very big class. That is a very serious thing. I have taken action, put the links out there, got it set up to hold this class because we have an epidemic of suicide in this country, maybe in the world. I'm not sure about other countries, but I know. And if you are someone that's considered it, or you have a family member that's considered it, I urge you to think about taking this class, and you can afford it. I have implemented a gifting economy so that there are 3 price points that you can choose from. If you can comfortably afford the top one, great. If you can't, choose the second or the first one. There is a price for everyone. And there does have to be an exchange of energy. That's all money is. And so nobody rides for free. That is true in life in so many ways. And the truth is, people do not value what is free. So I encourage you to consider that class if it's something you've ever thought about in your existence, maybe continue to think about, or you have family members that you're concerned about, because there's going to be a lot offered and many different tools, but all of them aren't going to be for you, but 1 or 2 will. And there'll be ways you can work your energy. So it's a very different platform for looking at that emotional, good morning, Julia, that emotional possibility. So taking action, this is what this year is about. And the first card that came up from the Rooted Woman, thank you, Julia, is Imram. In Imram, you look at, she's in a boat and she's not rowing. She's going along with it, because the truth is, like I said about Saturn, you're going to be on this journey. You can choose to grab those oars and start steering the boat, or you can choose to sit in it, and you're going to be taken on some pretty rough rapids that are going to prompt you into making that decision, taking that action, moving forward. The energy this year is going to seem really fast. So I urge you to consider, what have you been prompted to do? Good morning, Debbie. What have you been being pushed for, niggled at, prompted, harped on by the universe as being to be taken. That is something you want to begin or just fully jump into, because it is an initiation for the new way of being in this world. This is also a yin energy, which is kind of as opposed to that taking action, but you want to take action with gentleness and you want to heed what you need. Like this morning, I needed the treat coffee. I've started on Monday, because I knew that first week I still had things that were going to interfere with shifting to a different diet plan. I started carnivore because of the pain body that's been screaming for a long time. I decided that I was going to see what it felt like in this body to eat only animal products for 2 months. And I also know that there's going to be days when I might have a salad. But, I've given myself that grace. And that's what the yin part is. It's also the pulling back at times when things are just overwhelming and too much. It is okay for you to pull back and go, okay, I need just a little break. The thing I didn't start this week that I will implement, I don't know if it'll be next week or not, maybe the week after, is intermittent fasting with this carnivore diet. Because I've been eating not carnivore, very inflammatory, and not a whole lot, but I knew that I wasn't going to be able to successfully implement both of those because that was going to be too much restriction. I've done intermittent fasting before and I can, and my appetite will adjust, but I couldn't do both of totally pulling away from all those treats I'd been eating and going into a 16-hour window of not eating at the same time and stay. And if I failed at one of them, the habit is that I would have beat myself up and gone, oh, screw it, I'm not going to do any of it. Or I'm going to just treat myself with whatever, I had at home, which isn't a lot because I've taken care of a lot of those possibilities. But this year is an initiation into a new way of you living in the world, a new way for you to walk through the world. I've got this retreat coming up in May, and I just did a video that I'll be posting with one of the gals that attended this retreat. And she said to me, I've been on a lot of retreats in the last 30 years in my spiritual awakening, but yours was the most life-changing retreat I've ever been to. It is a 7-day retreat. It is offering so many different tools, again, for you to glean from. Every tool isn't necessary, but there are several that are going to be exactly what you need to shift you into this reason you came in this lifetime. You were not here by happenstance. So this year is a year of initiation. If you take action on signing up for the retreat, signing up for the class, stepping into another class, getting an energy healer, which I do, but I may not be the one for you. Getting yourself in alignment with what you've been prompted, with who you really came to be in this world, your next best path. Everything that has happened in your life up to this time has been perfect for you. You needed to experience and become exactly who you are today to take this next step, whatever that looks like for you. This is an initiation into a new way of living. This is portending, well, it's already with everything that's going on in the world, with the Tibetan earthquake, with the LA fires. Apparently, there's 5 more going on now, which means there's probably some idiot down there starting them on purpose. But nonetheless, the devastation, people's lives being burnt to the ground, and people learning some grace in that my family is safe. That's enough for now. I can't even fathom what these people are going through. It looks like a bomb went off in the area down there that was so gorgeous, so beautiful. So, I ask too that you send the energy of love, the energy of comfort, the energy of grace, and the energy of internal peace for these people. That's going to be tools that they can harness to move forward. Good morning, Susan and Janet. It's lovely to see you both again too. So the next card that came up that I'm going to have to put my glasses on for is the Mountain. And this is about vision and inspiration. There are things that have come into your field that you've gone, oh, yep, I'm going to do that. And then you've gone, oh, no, it's just too much, Susan. Susan is a friend of mine, and there's a thing that she signed up for a while ago that she's been going to learn. And she's been doing like many of us. It's kind of like, I really can't do anything right now. I just can't get motivated. Open, willing, and ready to receive the guidance and motivation that we need to move into the inspiration, the ideas, the journey that is going to move us more into the path of why we came, who we came to be in this world. When we come into alignment with that, excuse me, that internal ease, the yin energy happens where we are receiving, we are willing to move forward, but it doesn't have to be with 12 horses holding us back. I am open, willing, and ready to receive the ways for me to move forward that are going to be the gentlest way for me to move into this. We don't, if you're going to move, it's like me saying, okay, January 1st, I'm going to start the carnivore diet. I'm going to do it intermittent fasting, and to hell with everything else. I could have chosen that, but I knew that that was way too harsh for me. There were a few things that were going to happen that first week that I knew were going to make it way harder for me to do this different eating plan. And so I chose to make it gentler, so I had a better chance at success. So, it's like that old adage, ooh, that morning sky is so gorgeous. We here, I definitely feel sorry for you all who don't live here, because we have the most beautiful skies. And this is a beautiful pink, blue, gorgeous sky. But I digress. And I think I digressed out of my thought pattern. But you can choose to be gentle with yourself, or you can choose to be hard. I give up on hard after too long. That's why those huge resolutions for people don't work. When you're making too big a change, it is not sustainable for you. So know that inspiration and direction are there for you, open, willing, and ready. Give me the insights that are going to make it the easiest for me to make this happen in my life. Oh, I know what I was going to say. The old adage is, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You take it in easy little bites. You don't have to spend 6 hours a day learning that thing. You don't have to do that. You can spend 30 minutes. And usually what I'll do is like, well, my office, organizing that, which is pretty organized right now, actually, can be that thing that makes me go, it's too much. But if I tell myself, I'll do 15 minutes a day, I'll come in for 15 minutes and I'll do a half hour, because it's not so hard then. It's not so overwhelming. But I don't have to do the half hour. I can choose to do only 15 minutes, and it is okay with me, because that's what I contracted with me to do. So allow yourself to step into this new year in your power, open, willing, ready to be guided, connecting to your source of all things informational that you need to be successful moving forward. And the next one is, okay, the meadow, flourishing and regenerating. That is where you will end up, flourishing in abundance, in prosperity, in all areas. But more importantly, internally, when you're abundant and prosperous internally, because you're in peace inside with what you decided you wanted to do this year, then the regeneration happens, the flourishing, it all comes easily. And again, as things could get a little dicey and maybe a little overwhelming this year, ask for it to be a little bit easier for you. You have that right. You can choose, and you will be given insights and understandings as to what that looks like as you're moving forward. So I urge you to consider maybe writing down, we're coming into a full moon and another just outrageously powerful one on the 13th. And that is a time of letting go, maybe letting go of the ways you've talked to yourself, about yourself, what you've been doing to yourself for a long time, and being gentle and helping you move into you on a more regular basis, bringing forward that uniqueness. You don't have to be like anybody else. All of these childhood programmings, here's one for me. I have a very voluptuous body, 5'3", 170 pounds, big boobs, big hips. Never was this body, or would this body, or will this body look like Twiggy. But that's who I've told myself throughout my years. That's who I had to be, was Twiggy. That's what I tried to be. That was and many of us. And we were told that this body habitus was not okay. And so I started hating, particularly my breasts, because I was athletic. They hurt, they bounced. We didn't have these wonderful athletic bras growing up. And so I hated them and decided that when I had my babies, I was going to use them because, and that's when I learned to love them because of what they offered. They offered me that time of sitting down, holding that beautiful little person I was giving, loving them, and knowing that they were being given the very best I could offer them with that breast milk. And if you all have any young mothers in your life that are maybe ready to give birth, you could tell them to listen to what Nurse Savage said. As an office nurse, we did not see breastfed babies for anything more than well child checks for the most part. We saw bottle fed babies often for constipation, diarrhea, ear infections, all of that. So little sidelight there. So I fell in love with the fact that they were so large. And now they're low and large, learning to relove them in a different space on my body. Life is nothing but change. And that's one of the things we've resisted so much. And this year is huge, huge change. You want to learn to do the IMRAM, that journey with, okay, I'm open, willing, and ready. You guide me here. My hands are off the paddles. I am willing to be shown what it is that you have for me to make this journey more fun, more enjoyable, less irritating, less prickly for myself. We have the right to ask that. So I urge you, good morning, very, very random, Valerie. We get to choose how we move along this journey. We have already chosen why we wanted to be here, what kind of energy we brought in ancestrally to clear. A lot of what plagues us isn't even ours. It is ancestral. That's what someone like me can help you work with, is releasing the ancestral ties to that energy, healing your ancestors. We get to do that this lifetime, and be open, willing, and ready to be guided into an easy way to step into your path, a fun way. I've talked to you about these mandalas. I am learning more and more every day about the power that is in them. And for me, it started and really still is just this thing I want to do. I am learning how it can be part of my healing for myself, but my healing processes for my clients, to bring them the healing light codes in and grounding them in for them. It is a way to discharge energy. That's going to be part of that class on when suicide presents as an option, because it's a way to get out the energy. It's not for anybody but you. It is about you just moving the energy through you and putting it down on the page, choosing to release it, you can then burn that page, whatever. It is a tool, and that is what that class is offering. That's what my retreat offers, is different tools to help you move forward and access more of your intuitive personhood, why you came to be here. And besides, retreats are fun as hell. So if you're considering it, please reach out. It is beginning to fill. The early bird pricing ends March 15th. So do consider coming in, and there were only 7 spaces available. So that's a thing too. We choose to limit it to that. For one, the house houses that. For two, actually the house houses that. It's actually going to be 8 because someone is coming to stay in their camper. We choose not to work with any more than that because we want it to continue to be the intimate, personal thing that it is. So I think we are complete for this beautiful Friday in January. Again, send your love to LA, to the people of Tibet, who have lost well over 125 now to the earthquake that happened there. And there is going to be tumultuous earth, more of that in this year. So we're going to want to be in our power, in our steadfastness, to hold space for these lovely collective brothers and sisters that are in suffering, and be grateful. Yesterday, I was in a meeting where I'm the president of this group this year, and it was my job to set the theme for this year. And I really just hadn't settled on one, and said, I'll send it in an email. And after we finished, before we started the program, I went to the bathroom, and in the library where we were meeting, in the hall was this older man sitting there asleep. And because he has no place else to go. And then I started thinking, one of the members in my group, 5 of her friends had lost their home already in LA, and her old home was no longer there either. And as I walked back, I went, oh my God, that's the theme for this year. Gratitude for all that we've been given. Even when it doesn't feel like you have very much, you can always have that open, willing, ready, guide me. They will prompt you to realize all that you've been given. Can you see? Can you hear? Can you walk? Does water come out of your tap? Whatever. There are things. You have hair. Truly, that can be a big thing for people. It is the little things to be grateful for that will move us forward into more gratitude and a higher vibration of living on a more regular basis. And the higher the vibration, the higher it keeps moving. But sometimes we must be very conscious in choosing to raise our vibration by gratitude practice and shedding pure love and joy on whatever you are prompted to shed pure love and joy on. We are complete for this January morning. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage, on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. Until